My name is Sarah Woodbury. I'm here today with my husband Dan to talk about Twthill Castle.
So what's up with the spelling of Twthill? It doesn't make sense in Welsh or in English.
No, it doesn't. It comes from an Anglo-Saxon word, lookout hill. It's got a weird Welsh spelling there, but it's not pronounced in a Welsh way. Twthill first enters the written record in the time of Griffith ap Riddlin, when it was a royal sheath, called at the time Riddlin, which is the Welsh name for it. Its significance lies in its location between Chester and Gwynedd. It is built on the eastern bank of the Clwyd River, which means that it's essentially an outpost for both Normans and Welsh. For the Normans, when they controlled it, they could build up their forces there for an invasion into Wales to the west. For the Welsh, then, it is a foothold into Norman-held territory. So thus, there was a lot of conflict over this region over the course of the medieval period. After the death of Griffith ap Riddlin and the conquest of England by William the Conqueror, Robert of Riddlin moved into North Wales and started building castles. Twthill was one of those castles. In order to build it, he razed Griffith ap Riddlin's sheath to the ground. He built a motte and bailey castle, which is actually still visible today.
One of the things I find really interesting about that site is it's really easy to see how they scooped out part of the embankment and piled it up to create the motte.
Right, it's a very traditional motte and bailey castle with actually a quite large bailey associated with this motte, upon which was a stone tower. Twthill is actually mentioned in the Domesday Book, which was William the Conqueror's catalog of all his holdings in Britain. At that time, there was even a small borough associated with it called Riddlin, and it had a mint, a church, and 18 burgesses, which is sort of like a higher status men. After the death of Robert of Riddlin, this area of land went back and forth between Norman and Welsh control over the next couple of centuries. During the time of Owen Witness, as we talked about last week, he controlled Twthill, for example, in 1146 when he took Mold Castle, so his reach stretched all the way to the Dee estuary. Then he lost control of it again during the time of King Henry and gained it back again by the time of his death in 1170. One of my books, The Uninvited Guests, the second book in the Gareth and Gwen Medieval Mysteries, is actually set at Twthill, which I call Riddlin because that's the Welsh name. After Owain's death, the castle again fell to the Normans, who controlled it up until the time of Llywelyn ap Iorwerth, who became Prince of Wales and thus controlled all of North Wales. His grandson, Llywelyn ap Griffith, also controlled all of North Wales, but lost control of it in 1277 after his first war against King Edward. And Llywelyn, in fact, made his obeisance to Edward in the Bailey of Twthill. Edward destroyed the castle and began building Riddlin, which is a stone castle that located several hundred yards to the north of Twthill. It's part of the Iron Ring of Castles, and we'll talk more about those castles in the coming weeks. Next week, we'll talk about the Lord Rhys, the next descendant of Griffith ap Cynan to rise to power. If you like this video, click on the playlist or subscribe to my channel. There'll be a new video next week. And if you want to check out my books, click on the link to my webpage.